I'm Fallon, and this is my solo show called On the Other Side of a Locked Door at Richard Heller Gallery in LA.
Why did you call it that?
So it was based around like the idiom in queer culture of like being in the closet and playing on this idea of something being in discretion or privacy or things that happen away from like the general eye.
Can you tell us a bit about how you actually make it, sort of the materials that go into it?
Yeah, so the white part is MDF, which is either laser cut or CNC. So CNC is you kind of create this drawing and you send it off, and with a router it's cut out. And then from that there is a wooden mold that is made around that, and then the white brick part is taken out and then it's cast in it with jesmonite, which is like a material similar to plaster, but it has a plastic polymer in it. So when it sets, it's really durable, it's fireproof, and it's non-toxic as well. But yeah, it's a long time to make.
I first saw the arrows from your work. Is that sort of where the work started, or?
The arrows have been a reoccurring motif over the past few years. These are very different from the first ones I made. They kind of came about through the idea of like Saint Sebastian, who is kind of unknowingly the patron saints of like the LGBT community, but also the link with the arrows and this idea of like a post an event, like someone's fired these arrows and they're the remnants of something that's happened.
And then the bricks is sort of the other motif that I recognize a lot.
Yeah, and also like in a lot of these bricks, they've always got like a crack or something has happened, something's been undone, this has been woven together. And again, it's like similar to the arrows, this idea of the aftermath, like the post-event. So it's almost as if you're engaging with these objects after an event has happened, and this is the remnants or something that is left behind when people have left.
How did you come up with the bread?
When I was thinking about the show, I knew that there was something that I wanted to put in it that was in relation to American culture. Like, as much as this is in relation to me and like British, there was something that I was like, okay, I really need to put this in. And I was looking literally on Google. I was like, I knew I wanted to put a mailbox in, so I was originally just going to make a mailbox. And I saw it and I was like a loaf of bread. And then I put it in, and there was a reading. I realized after there was a reading that I did by Alain de Botton, who's like a French theorist. He's like still alive now, and he wrote a book called Architecture of Happiness. And in the introduction, he talks about our relationship to architecture and the way that the spaces that we live in define our lives and we define the spaces. So he kind of talks about the home and how when the sun hits the brick walls of the building, the heat from the sun makes it feel like freshly baked bread. So there's this nice link between that, and also for me, like this idea of like suburbia and like suburban American towns or cities is this idea of someone kind of going past on a bike, like ringing a bell, and they throw like a newspaper, and then like someone is outside with like a cup of coffee or something, like getting the post out of a mailbox. So I think there was this idea around that, and like the piece is called Homecoming. So again, I think there was that link between that.
How has art changed your life?
It was one of those things that I've always kind of naturally gravitated towards doing. And I don't think it was until I was probably about 18, 19 when I moved to uni that I started to realize the way that I was producing work that I suppose I was living vicariously through. So this idea of actually going through the process of making it and the production and doing the research, you start to, yeah, I suppose I live vicariously through the production element of it. Like obviously all of these are, they're produced, like nothing of it is like printed or like it's all done by hand. So I think there's that idea of process and lived experience and I suppose like learning from the actual production of it.